it's a hard concept for me to understand that a faith-based family could not love a child.
Yeah.
And that's truly what it boiled down to for me, is I truly don't think that my family loved me. I think that they were ashamed of me. I think that they didn't know what to do with me, so rather than try to understand, there wasn't any resources to understand, there was no way for them to understand, they just fell right into the Bible as their only guide for this.
Right.
And sadly for them, they missed out on me.
Exactly.
Sadly for me, I will always have, like you said, there's always going to be a part of my past that I can't erase. And sadly for me, sometimes that part is hard to overcome.
Yeah.
There are times when I'm knee buckled on the ground, not knowing what to do because it's just so big. And it's mind-boggling that the universe has put me on this. I would not have expected a year ago to be anywhere near like this. And I give credit to trusting the universe, to faith, as you said. It's 100%. I put faith in what I was being told by the universe, and it's working out.
Right.
And the hardest thing that faith told me was to be authentic. That's the hardest thing on this planet, I believe, for a human being, is to be real. Oh my goodness, it just is, because I see what's going on in my world just trying to be authentic. I have to now decide, do I tell during an interview, do I out myself? Do I tell after I get the job, do I out myself? Do I not out myself at all? And these are all faith-based spiritual decisions that I'm making based on partially my upbringing on those. And you can't escape it.
Right.
You just can't escape you can own your past, which is what I'm trying to do now, but you can't escape it. You can't pretend like it didn't happen or become so bitter about your past that you lose focus on the now.
Right.
It's hard to do, but
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah, and I think part of this idea of, because my family no longer in my life either because of my transition, and there's definitely moments where it hits you and you suddenly feel the weight of that, and sometimes it's seeing other people connect with their families, or for me, whenever I find myself in a precarious situation, knowing that I don't have that safety net where I could call, where my sister, for example, could call my mom or dad and say, hey, like, I'm in a jam, can you help me out? And just knowing that I don't have that same luxury, and then looking at it and saying, well, why? Because I'm who I am, and I think it's those moments where the pain and the grief, because it's a loss, and you have to grieve that loss, and when it's an ambiguous loss, or it's someone who's still here, I think that grief process is ongoing, maybe not constant, but ongoing. But for me, the grieving kind of stops when I realize that to have them in my life still would be, I'm not the one who can change. It's up to them. The ball's in their court. I can't change who I am as a real, authentic person, but they can change their mindset should they choose to, but they're choosing not to. And, they're choosing this idea of it, whether it's appearances or whether it's, if we're talking about the Bible and Christianity, and it's supposed to be this idea of God is love and everything is love thy neighbor. Okay, well, you're not loving someone if you're trying to hold them back and keep them from their growth and disrespecting their very essence as a human being. And when I look at it that way, it's like, well, it's a no-brainer then. I can't have that toxic influence in my life. I was my own worst enemy for so long because I was trying to keep my own self down. I wasn't letting myself grow, and I can't let other influences in my life willfully like that. And it's hard that it's my family, and it'll always be sad that it has to be that way. But I also know that regardless of what relation they are to me as a person, if that's their objective, is to hold me back or to change me, I have people who like me just the way I am. So why would I, you know what I mean? And it made me so much stronger, from that young age when I might not have had the word for it yet, but I knew that someday I'm going to be on my own, at least as far in relation to my family. So it made me work 10 times harder. You know, we're both strong, independent people. And would we be this level of strong and independent had we not gone through that?
Not at all.
No.